welcome to the EmpowerHer series. I'm your host, Jessica Jane. This series is all about real women, real stories, and real growth. Our stories have power, and when we share them, we remind others that they're never alone. Get ready to be inspired. This is EmpowerHer.
So I am super excited to be kickstarting 2026 off with our EmpowerHer series with the amazing International Miss UK, Annabel. So I have had the absolute pleasure of sharing the stage with Annabel twice last year in the International Miss UK finals, and she very, very rightfully walked away with that title and crown. So I'm super excited for you to be sharing your story with our Empower Her community and the work that you do, because you and the work that you do and the impact you're making is just having such a positive impact on so many people. So I'm super excited for you to share that with us all. So just before we dig a bit deeper, for anyone that might not know you, can you just share a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, certainly. So, hi, I'm Annabel. I am the reigning International Miss UK 2026. Still doesn't feel real. So, by day, I'm actually a nurse and I'm a whistleblower. And I've used my advocacy to support other people through my platform, Voice of the Vulnerable.
Brilliant. So can you kind of dig a little bit deeper into that, a bit more about your background, your story, and what actually led you to do the work you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I became a registered nurse in learning disabilities in 2016. So coming up 10 years this year. And shortly after I started working, I'd reported abusive practice. Thereafter, I lost my job as a result of whistleblowing, and I worked with BBC Panorama to uncover systemic abusive practice, which aired on television in 2019. And that resulted in a court case. And I now use my experience to go into universities and guest speak to healthcare, social care students, which I do with great pride in the work that I've done and what that's achieved throughout the United Kingdom.
That's amazing. Can you, with regards to being a whistleblower, and it was such a major like hospital abuse scandal, wasn't it? And that's something that most people would shy away from. It's a big thing to come out and kind of speak your truth in that way and put it out there. So, what was going through your mind in that moment of choosing that courage over comfort?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll take it right back to my brother Prentice. He has Down syndrome, and that led me to become a nurse in learning disabilities. So my passion has always been there to support people to live as well as possible and promote their independence and support them to let their voices be heard. And when I'd witnessed what I'd witnessed and went on to blow the whistle and report the abuse, it was that firm belief that I have that voice that can speak and people will listen. And despite several doors closed, felt like nobody was listening to me, nobody was taking me seriously. It was that commitment that I'd made, not only to my brother, but as a nurse, to my profession, that I wouldn't walk away without it being rightfully heard and action made.
Hmm. And I completely understand that as well, because one of my jobs is I'm a personal assistant within care. And some of the care that I see, and I come back to work sometimes and I'm like, what on earth has gone on? And it blows my mind how people can be in a kind of caring position like this that don't actually care. So to really stand up and kind of speak up on that is huge, because I'm sure that will make and has made such a difference. And obviously people with and like with your brother and the disabilities and stuff like that, anybody that needs that extra care, needs people to actually be there supporting them properly and not kind of abusing that. So I'm so glad that you were so brave to stand up for that. And obviously, as you've mentioned, your brother is a huge part of your life and what you do. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Prentice. He is an absolute ray of sunshine. I've had so much fun with him, dancing, singing. He was amazing at the pageant finals as well. So do you feel that there was a point in your life that something had shifted around, obviously, being with Prentice, that kind of gave you more of a sense of purpose around that?
Yeah, absolutely. When he was born, it entered me into the world of learning disabilities, and that led me into my nursing career. And it is for him that I got to where I am and achieved what I have achieved. And I support local charities, Down Syndrome North East, Together 21, and They're predominantly based in the northeast, but it's to support not only children but adults and parents and caregivers. And that's led me into a huge wide world, alongside pageantry, which I've been able to raise money for, advocate for, support. Um, at Christmas, I went to Down Syndrome Northeast Children's charity event, and that was amazing just to spend some time with them, give out presents next to Santa. And it's just really magical and special. And it's great to be able to be there and offer any support or guidance that I can.
I love that. I saw your pictures of that actually, and it was so lovely. Um, because you also do sign language as well, don't you? Is that something to do with Down syndrome or?
Yeah, so it's Makaton Sign Language, and it's signing sort of assisted with language, and that's to promote communication. Um, and that's all at early years, early stages where maybe their vocabulary is a little bit delayed, or they just need more assistance in communicating, because that's our biggest way of letting people know our needs, our wants, our wishes, and being able to sign opens that door to so many people that maybe have that difficulty in self-expression or verbal communication. And it's a really recognized tool, and that's not only in learning disabilities, it's in other areas, in dementia and other areas like that. So it's a really valuable skill to have.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I can remember once when my nan was in hospital actually, and there was a lady next to her in the bed that I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was trying to kind of call out for help but couldn't actually speak. So I just kind of went over to comfort her and I tried to get a nurse to say, look, this lady needs you. So it is, I've never really thought about it to be a skill that would come in handy in so many different ways, other than if you obviously was like deaf or something. But kind of seeing things like that and obviously meeting you as well, it does go to show that how it could just come in use in so many ways in life as well. So that's brilliant. And I know you've also had your own mental health issues and they've been on a journey with your own mental health, and you've spoke quite openly about that within your work. Um, One, do you feel like that also kind of took you into the work that you're doing now and wanting to help people? And also, how do you feel that's shaped you as a person?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd been attacked quite badly by a patient, which has left visible scarring on my lower legs. And that resulted in me getting psoriasis. And that was at one stage, that was face, body, everywhere. And that scarring took a long time to heal, 6, 7, 8 months before it kind of healed and just became a sort of a scar. And that took its toll. That was the same point I'd started whistleblowing, that same point I'd lost my job, and I'd kind of hit, I'd say, pretty much rock bottom at that point. Um, and it was at that point actually I found pageantry. It was just when I needed something uplifting and empowering. And as much as my brother's been always my biggest inspiration, I knew I needed something for me and to bring me back to who I am as a person and give me that push to continue aim high. And I have a purpose, I have a drive, but what can I do for that self development? And I always think it's important in mental health to recognize that we go through stages throughout our lives, and at one point or another we might need help or support ourselves. And that's not a negative, that's not a weakness. I think it's a strength to show, actually, I am vulnerable at a stage in my life and this is where I need help and support. And that's led me to face challenges. And now I do #do the unthinkable, where I set challenges like running 60K. I'm not a runner. But actually breaking that down into, it was 5K over 12 days, and that you could run, walk, wheelchair use, cycle, however that looked for you. And I think it's been really important to drive that to everybody, that if I can do it, I know that other people can do it. And it's that sense of achievement when we achieve a goal or a dream or a wish that we've wanted to do. It inspires us to move forward and keep going.
I love that. And I love that you have opened that up for absolutely anybody to be able to be a part of as well, because I think that's really important. And I think that's where it starts, is with yourself, isn't it? That you one have to kind of be vulnerable. One, you have to get kind of really true to yourself, really reflect on yourself, which enables you to kind of put yourself forward in that growth way. Otherwise, you just stay stuck in the same cycles if you can't really reflect and know how to move forward. So I think it's a really big part of the work that everybody kind of really needs to do for themselves and give ourselves. And I think it's a part of like that self-love and self-care for ourselves as well that so many of us neglect ourselves with. Um, and I'm doing things like this year actually I plan to do some hikes. So 3 hikes, but one of them I haven't found a place to do it yet. But I'm going to open it up to everybody to join me. And I really want to do quite a challenging hike, but at the top of it, you can paraglide off.
Wow.
So, but there's just this feeling where I'm like, I want that challenging thing to keep my mindset strong, something that's going to keep pushing me and determined, and something that's going to be a challenge where I can really be proud of myself. But then once I'm at the top, I just feel like paragliding off will be like that freedom feeling to just be like, I've done it. Just jump. See if you
Wow.
want to join me, Annabelle. You're very
Oh, I might get to the top. I'm not sure about paragliding.
bless you. Um, on that note, um, what made you feel like pageantry was the way forward for you? Because I know for me, when I stepped into the pageant world, it was never something that was on my radar at all. And so many people kind of misunderstand what pageantry is. I've had so many people talking about kind of thinking it's a beauty contest. And I'm like, it is not a beauty contest, and it's so much bigger and so much more than that. But the personal growth I got from stepping into that world as well has just been huge. And how many fears that I faced with it, how many times I've had to step out of my comfort zone, and the amazing women that I've got to kind of like be around and rub shoulders with and have that energy around them. And it's also surprised me what a lovely space it is with women coming together and supporting each other and empowering each other. And it never ever felt like a competition. Everybody was there supporting each other, and we all knew that everybody deserved to win because every woman on that stage was just absolutely amazing and doing some great work. So how would you reflect on the pageant world?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Pageantry has taught me that being a woman isn't about fitting into any sort of mold, any beauty standard mold, or any height, any weight. Like, it's nothing like that. It's about defining yourself. It's made me stronger, more confident, and just willing to stand up for myself and others. It's empowering. It's uplifting. And people have to recognize that when you in pageants, it's very much a community, and it uplifts each other. And whether that's supporting each other at events, helping each other out on a late night panic that things aren't going right or well, sharing wardrobes, supporting if there's any wardrobe malfunctions.
Mhm.
And you remember when we were backstage, we were all helping each other out, whether it was that tying into dresses or making sure who had a hairbrush stuck to somewhere.
I once had a hairbrush stuck to a bum.
Yeah.
I nearly went out in one earring that was blue and one earring that was black. The behind the scenes is hilarious.
But that's it. And I think it's like every challenge, every appearance, and every moment, whether that's on stage, on social media, out in the community, it pushes you out of your comfort zone, but it helps you grow and it empowers you. And by you being uplifted by others, you will do the same and support somebody else. And I think that's what's incredible about it. And the hundreds of thousands pageantry is raised for charities, and whether that's your chosen charity or a charity that's aligned to a pageant. And I think it's been really important in showing people that actually together we can achieve great things, and massive, huge, monumental things. Monument, can I speak?
Yeah, definitely. And I do think, again, I think it also comes back to that. It starts with you and leading the way, because I know when I first shied away from the pageants, thinking, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm not good enough for this. And I was far too nervous. It wasn't my kind of thing. And that's actually what made me go, you know what? No, I'm applying. I'm going to put an application in for this because one, I had to prove to myself that I was good enough. And I had to, again, I'm a very big advocate of feel the fear and do it anyway. So I was like, if this is making me feel this fear so much, I need to push myself out of my comfort zone and do this. But also to show other women the way and shine that light to say, look what you can achieve when you do just feel the fear and do it anyway, and the growth and the experiences and the people you meet and everything that comes with it. And you always do really surprise yourself. It's never a wherever the journey takes you, there's always something, so many positive that come out of it and so much growth that come out of that as well. And I think when we stand forward and say we can do it encourages other people to be like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And it's just being vulnerable and sharing those stories openly as well, isn't it? To show people that we're all the same. We all have those doubts. We all have those fears. And we've all got a story to tell that's been a struggle in life, and we might have overcome it. So, yeah, I think it's really important to just shine your light and kind of guide that way and help other people step into their power as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a sisterhood, and I think once you're in it, I don't think there's any going back. I think you stay in it because of that community. It's meeting girls in the UK from all over, but all over the world as well. We
Mm,
travel internationally. We support each other through pageants, but also at home and through experience. And we're there to give advice or just to help and support in other ways. I think
mm,
once that like book opens and you enter into the world, it's incredible. And I've met some of my closest friends through pageantry, and it's
mm,
girls that I potentially would never have ever met through through living and working in as like the northeast. And it's given me that opportunity, and I think it's incredible.
mm. Yeah, I love that. And is your international finals, is that in Paris again?
New York.
I was in New York. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it
No,
Paris? It was Paris last year, wasn't it?
no, New York.
Was it? I'm sure it wasn't because it wasn't it on Paris. Was it New York Fashion Week, not Paris Fashion Week?
New York Fashion Week.
I just made that up then. Okay, so it's New York. Both amazing places, especially on Fashion Week. Oh, super great. When is it?
We haven't got the official dates yet. It should be by the end of this month that we'll get to confirmation of place and
Mm.
dates. I'm very excited about it. So
I
yeah, I'll
bet.
have a book eventually. But yeah, no, we've just started planning like national costume. I know we still have like our UK finals. We have red for opening. Our runway is white, and then we've got our evening wear, which is sort of any colour that we want.
Mm.
So that'll be good. And national costumes, yeah, that's
Mm.
exciting. I'm just starting to plan that.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
exciting, and I can't wait to follow the journey with you. So you've spoken a little bit about your platform of Voice of the Vulnerable. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and what it actually means to you?
yeah, absolutely. So Voice of the Vulnerable was created as my platform, and it's to amplify people's voices. And that's not vulnerability in just sort of my world of nursing or learning disabilities. That's for women, adults, children, or anybody. It's encouraging people to speak up and take action. That's something that I did, and that's when I go and guest speak at universities, at charities, to share my story, to show how I did it. And it's not an easy journey, and I had to overcome a lot to be heard and listened to. And I think that it's continuing that partnership. I use social media. I also, through International Ms, we support Still She Rose, and that's supporting well-being and self-esteem, mental health, and that's been a journey for me through my platform as well. And I think it's really important to create that safe space where our voices can be heard and we can be supported. And I want to keep building that both nationally and internationally.
Mm.
That's whether it's through charity work, that's been a big part of my journey. I've raised over £9,000 for various charities so far, and that's through pageantry.
Mm.
And I've used my Voice of the Vulnerable to share other women's journeys, and I do that on social media because I think it's really important that our stories are heard, because sometimes social media is used as it's really good and really positive, but actually we don't see always see that other side of like real life and real struggles that people have overcome, because I know that somewhere in the world it will resonate with somebody, and it'll give them that inspiration and that courage to empower them to do something for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I created Empower Her, because this podcast is all about women coming to share their like authentic selves, their real stories, and also but to give the tips and mindset skills and stuff that they've learned along the way that's got them through the other side and where they are now, because there will always be somebody that will resonate with that story. And again, I think it just enables people that are also one maybe struggling, two haven't spoke out and are kind of keeping it all in, to be like, wow, like I'm not alone. Other people are struggling with this, and it's okay to speak about it, and I'm not wrong for feeling this way. And again, to be like, but if she did it, I can actually move forward and get out of this. So I think it is so important for people to have that safe space, to feel like they can open up as well and speak in that in when it is so vulnerable to do so, and feel supported. Um, and especially, I love the fact that you're also going into like universities and schools and stuff like that, because I also work the care work and the personal assistant work that I do is within the university. So I'm around a lot of uni students. Um, and the how many more young people are being affected now with mental health issues. Um, So, and I think everyone just wants to fit in and they don't really know where they fit anymore. That kind of work is so important for them because again, I feel like a lot of them don't really know how to open up and speak about how they're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, it is mental health and it is well-being. And when we share stories or we share good ways that we support our own mental health, our own well-being, it will help other people to do the same. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, so obviously becoming International Miss UK 2026, obviously this gives you obviously even a bigger stage, a greater platform to really spread your message and help people. I know you've already mentioned how it doesn't even still feel real for you, but obviously taking that title, what does that mean to you? And what is the message that you want to kind of leave with the world during your reign?
Yeah, it's incredible. The opportunity to represent the United Kingdom is a dream that actually at one point I never thought it would happen for me. When I entered pageants, the same as you, I entered thinking I'm not going to be finalist, they're not going to pick me. And when you get that response of you're in, I was like, oh my God. Like it's real. And it's what has brought me so much confidence and that self-development and that progression that I want to share with others. And I think it's really important that um strength and confidence doesn't have to look big and loud or perfect. It's something like, for me, it was healing. Sometimes it was speaking up, and sometimes it's simply not giving up. And I think that's really important, that we're not a perfect world. Women, perfectionism, I don't know what that is. And I think it's really important to recognize that we're all on a journey of self-development and well-being. And I want to share that your voice does matter. Your experiences are completely valid and you are capable of much more than you think you are.
Mhm. I love that. And I think it is so important to acknowledge the fact that it is a journey, it's not a race. And to enjoy your journey as well. I've been very awful at this myself, where I've been very much in that I've got to be here, I've got to achieve this, I've got to do this, I've got to accomplish this, I've got to feel this way, I've got to be this way, and constantly wanting to have that growth. But I felt it came from a very kind of self harsh way of like not I was being very hard on myself to try and achieve it rather than just enjoying my journey and letting it flow and letting it unravel as that journey came. And I feel like I'm now in that space where I've come to realize that I've been living in so much chaos, working towards what I wanted to get, and even in just my life and struggles that I've had, that I actually just for my healing is very much working on finding my peace, and when peace comes, clarity will come and everything else will flow in that. And I just want to live more in flow in those ways. So I think it's also very important as well is that there's so much about obviously our personal growth work and mindset. And I teach a lot about this and I'm very big on self-worth. Um, but it's also finding what works for you. There's no right or wrong. And I think we all get a bit trapped sometimes in that, oh my God, I should be so much better by now, and I should have achieved this, and I should be successful in this, and I should have this much money, and I should have this, that we get so lost in the journey of it that you can actually end up going backwards. So I think it's very important to just be a part of that journey and that community together for that support and just really zone into what it is that healing means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really important not to compare yourself to
Mm,
somebody else. And like you say, we're all on our own individual journeys, and don't compare to someone, because it's hard to know truly what they've been through, what they're going through. And I think sometimes we can all get inside our own heads and be like, oh, she's doing better, or she's this, or she's that. And that's not true at all.
mm,
It's about support and uplifting each other. I go to the gym, I lift weights with men and women. I'll push women to lift heavier, and that's just fun and something I do, that because they think, oh, I'm not strong enough. But as we lift, we get stronger, and it's
mm,
that push sometimes we need and that encouragement that it reinforces our self-belief in what we can achieve.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, with regards to things like struggles, and obviously you've overcome a lot of your own struggles, is there anything kind of tips wise that you would leave with anybody that are kind of struggling through something themselves at the moment and they can't kind of see the light, they don't know how to get through to the other side? What kind of tips would you leave for them?
I think it's important to recognize that not every day has to be perfect, and some days getting out of bed can be the biggest achievement that you do. And don't be so hard on ourselves, because we'll all have days like that. And I think it's important to recognize that if you're not feeling well, and that's physically or mentally, that we recognize it, and they're valid feelings, and we seek support and help. And whether that's reaching out to someone you trust or a professional, I think it's really important to do that. And it's not a sign of weakness. Vulnerability isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, that actually we're going to help ourselves, and that well-being that will grow, and what will come from that we'll never know, because what we can achieve in the future.
I love that, and I think it's great that you shared that actually, because I feel like I'm very much there now with again, I've been very hard on myself with feeling like if I wasn't showing up, if I wasn't still pushing myself, if I wasn't still doing the work, if I wasn't still doing this, I would be very hard on myself and kind of felt guilty about resting or not doing something. And even sometimes when it was fun stuff, like I'm a dancer and I love dancing salsa, bachata, and obviously because I love it and I don't want to miss it. But what I was finding is I was getting on some days I was so exhausted, but it was a dancing night, so I'd still push myself to go dancing, and then it's a late night when you finish, and then you're up in the morning for work again. Um, where I've just really started to listen to my body now, and if I'm exhausted, it's fine for me to just have an early night and get. Sometimes I've gone to bed at 8 o'clock now, and I'm like, no, I don't care that it's only 8 p.m. I'm getting in bed because I am tired. And just being gentle on yourself, and just I think it is having that connection with yourself, isn't it? To really truly listen to what your body is telling you it actually wants, rather than forcing it to do the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, you're still working towards your goals, you're still working towards what your passion is, or what your dream is to do. But I think it's important that not every day has to be your strongest day, and you don't have to achieve everything. It's okay to actually relax, breathe, and take that time, because that'll just help you in the long run. It's like you said, it's not a race to the end.
Mhm.
Winning international Miss United Kingdom, I've been in pageantry 6 years, and this is my first title to represent the United Kingdom.
Mm.
People think one look and, oh, it would have come easy, but no, it doesn't. And you have setbacks, and that's okay, because it's always about, that's both in pageantry and in career, we have setbacks, but it's okay, keep going, because something else will come, and what's meant for you will always find its way.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a great believer of that as well, is sometimes if a door closes, it is a case of another one's going to open. And sometimes then you realize actually what happened beforehand wasn't that bad. I think sometimes we get so caught up and think, oh my God, this has happened to me and I've lost this and this hasn't worked out. But then further down the line, when that other door opens, it shows you that it was all for a reason and something actual, like better, was waiting for you. So it wasn't actually a bad thing at all. And sometimes also, I think learning, taking the lessons from it, because again, that's what really enables that growth, is if we take what we've learned from it and implement it, then we can go forward in such a better way and take on new skills and actually grow from it. So I think it's just not letting it kind of beat you down. It's actually taking the lessons and letting it make you rise instead.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I talk to students and they say, would you do it again? And I say, yes. It wasn't easy, it was challenging. And when I lost my job and couldn't get another job for several months, um, that was a particularly challenging time. It was also on top of physical and mental health struggles. And I think it's
Mm.
about to recognize, yeah, it was challenging, it was difficult, but at the time I wouldn't have known the outcomes of what would be achieved. But I still would do it again, because it was a purpose, it was my drive, my passion, and that integrity to stay and be there and be that voice for others.
Mhm. Mm. And anyone that's listening, what would you like them to take from your story?
Um, just to not give up, and like you say, whether it is a day where we're not feeling our best and we don't achieve our dreams or our goals, or we have a setback, keep going, push yourself, and that doesn't have to be incredible things. It can be the smallest things in the world. It's just for you and for your well-being.
Mhm.
Take that time, recognize and find that support that you need. And pageantry has been a great thing for support and that networking, having
Mhm.
those friendships and meeting women. I think that's what's important. There is a whole sisterhood. It's a community. It's a community of women from all walks of lives, all backgrounds. I think that's what's important. All ages as well.
Mhm.
And it's brought so much achievements, not just individually but as groups. And I think it's really important that we continue to share our stories, um, shout that what pageantry is, supporting women, that and what we can achieve together.
Mhm. There's something really special about women coming together, isn't there? And there is such an empowering thing about it of women just coming together, that support that we have to each other, and just uplifting each other and being there to really be each other's cheerleaders. It just, the impact that that gives to women is just amazing. And the only other place that I've ever seen that in is within my online health and wellness business. The women in that, and when we come together, the pageant world gave me the exact same vibe, and I was so surprised when I walked into it because I didn't feel like it really existed anywhere else. And as soon as I walked into the pageant world, I was like, oh my God, this literally feels like how it is in my health and wellness business. And just the energy and the vibe and everything it brings as well. Like you can't really be miserable around it. Just that energy just uplifts you instantly, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you are upset by something, there'll be someone there that will support and will help. And
Mm.
that is that community of uplifting women.
Hmm.
I think it's important we take up space. We show that we all have our own paths and our own journeys. We're all at different stages in our lives,
Hmm.
but we don't have to fit in anyone's box. But we can still come together and be united in sharing that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So just coming to an end, we always finish with the same question on Empower Her, and that is, what does empowerment mean to you?
So empowerment to me means given the ability, whether it's to educate or share, uplift, or take up space and share my voice or other people's voices. Empowerment is a drive to support others, to give them the tools to empower themselves. And that could be from work to pageantry to education.
Hmm. I love that, and what a lovely point to end on. I think your work shows that beautifully anyway. The kind of the work that you're doing really shows that support that you're sharing and giving to others. And I think that's the case, isn't it? It's not to just show up yourself and being like, oh, look what I've achieved and how I've pushed myself and how I've grown, but also share those skills and those tools and resources with other people to help them flourish in those ways as well. So I think that's a lovely way to end this episode. So thank you so much, Annabel. Thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely to have you on, and really lovely to kickstart 2026 with you. I am super excited to follow the rest of your year as the International Miss UK, and obviously follow your journey in New York with it as well. So good luck for that.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, Annabel.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.